A woman gets sucked into a jet engine. This is an update report from the NTSB after almost 2 years on taking off. Hi, I'm Dan Milliken, and almost 2 years ago, we reported on the horrible story of a ground crew member who was sucked into an American Airlines E-175 jet engine and killed while the plane was at the gate in Montgomery, Alabama. Well, 2 days ago, the NTSB released the docket on the case with some interesting and tragic new details. And before we talk about some very revealing information in the docket, there's a couple of huge surprises in there. Let's do a quick rundown of what happened the fateful New Year's Eve day, December 31st, 2022. Courtney Edwards, a 34-year-old ground crew worker and mother of 3, was working at the Montgomery Regional Airport as a ramp agent for Piedmont Airlines, a subsidiary of American Airlines. After an Embraer 175 plane operated by Envoy Air landed with 63 passengers on board, Courtney was fatally injured when she was pulled into the left, or number 1, engine that was still running. The preliminary NTSB report indicated that the aircraft's auxiliary power unit was inoperative, leading the flight crew to keep the engines running after the required cool-down period after landing. And this isn't unusual in the industry. There's a document called the Minimum Equipment List, or MEL, that each plane has to have to be able to operate with passenger service. If a flight crew gets on the airplane and something isn't working, they consult the MEL to see if they can still fly. Some items might require the aircraft to stay on the ground until it's repaired. Others might have a time limit, a certain number of days that the aircraft can fly with the item inoperable. And that's what it was for the auxiliary power unit. The aircraft can still be operated. Big news, and this one floors me as well. The ground crew, including Courtney, is not considered safety-sensitive employees and therefore not subject to drug testing under the Department of Transportation's drug crew, including the other big news, and this one floors me as well. The ground crew, including Courtney, is not considered safety-sensitive employees and therefore not subject to drug testing under the Department of Transportation's drug testing regulations. The DOT doesn't think a ramp worker's job is safety sensitive, and this blows my mind. And I hope it gets changed. Now, Piedmont, the operator for the American Airlines flight and Courtney's employer, has a very detailed drug policy and does mention that workers are subject to drug testing, one of which
above 36, definitely fucked up.
No, I believe that. Oh, I see that before, the backflip guy. Yeah, that guy's crazy.
Chicken jockey. Flint and Steel.
Oh, that is
Chicken jockey. I am Steve.
Some believe he was just a myth. Others claim he changed the course of history from the shadows. They call him the Black Khan. Some say he was never born in our world, probably emerged from Agartha, a place where time folds and empires are planned centuries in advance. He may have been more than a man. Some believe he was the reincarnation of Yaqub himself. His name doesn't appear in official records. The world's great historical leaders came to him. The Ming dynasty welcomed him. Genghis Khan and Napoleon themselves came to him, asking for military guidance.
Chat, is that not the second biggest, greatest empire of the world? Or third? The Mongolian Empire? After the British Empire and the Roman Empire?
It's okay, because I can play Murphy.
First! Oh, dude, my voice is so bad, dude.
Hey, what's his record?
I sound like Mickey Mouse.
Who the f just timed me out? Who the f just timed me out?
I timed you out. We shit on you.
And the thing
We
is don't
rolled you and smoked your ass on the auto. Guys, do you think if I go pee, someone's gonna kill me? Place your bets, place your bets. I gotta go. It's actually really bad. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, that's it. That's the good old days, pretty much.
Have you ever said the N-word before?
With a hard R or just an A at the end? Because no, I prefer never the hard R.
Whoa.
You said it with the A?
You said what?
Yeah, because I used to be a rapper. My rapper name was PK.
Tongue.
Okay, you hear how you used to rap and say it?
No, I can't do it anymore. I'm retired.
But how'd you used to say the word though, like in a phrase?
Dude, I don't want to say that.
I mean, you did it. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Well, don't bait him.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it. I just choose not to say it. I don't even. Yeah, I don't
Fair.
know. I never said it before. Actually, take it back. You know what? I have never ever said it.
Come on, man. This guy looks chill and like reforming about now. He's just kind of doing his groceries. Like, come on, man. You're gonna bait him like that?
Run!
Chat. Chat. I watched Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1. Absolute garbage. I'm sorry. Listen, I know I've been a hater lately. I know I've been a hater. I've been hating a lot of things, okay? I try my best to include good takes or positive takes as much as I can. It's hard these days, but I try to squeeze them in. I cannot be positive about this. It's shit. It's not good. It's not good. Okay? A lot of things don't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense. It's weird. And I'm gonna say it. Ooh, no, I'm not gonna say it, actually.
It may not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me.
Okay. Ellie, the character, is a hero because of circumstances. She's a hero by default. Okay? She doesn't want to be a hero. She just is because she does what needs to be done when things happen to her. She doesn't chase it down to look a certain way, whatever, in the game. She has to because the zombies are coming and she's dying. Boom, she does that. Boom, she does that. She doesn't go, oh, let's do that. So funny. Let's go into the store. That's a bet. Let's be a dumb fox. It's just odd. This like weird fake heroism, and they go like, oh yeah, we could go inside. Oh, and let the guys do it. No, not the men. Like we should do it by ourselves. Like, dude. Like, dude, really, dude? Like, really? It's just odd. I think it's just odd. It's just, I don't know.
And what the fuck is this picture again?
Also, she's too arrogant. In the game, she's not as arrogant, whatever. She's just it's too much. It's too much. It's annoying. Also, I gotta be honest with you, the snarky like faces all the time, annoying. I just don't like it, man. I just don't like it. I don't like it. The church outburst thing seems a little bit forced as well. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to be too guys woke agenda thing, but I don't know. It's just kind of like, okay, dude, like it just seems forced. That's all.
Why does this always happen? What the fuck?
Oh, anyway.
Quiet. What the fuck? You wouldn't tell me it was that damn hot?
Interesting.
If you have blue eyes, you may be dismissed. If you have a pet cat, you may be dismissed.
Never did that before.
Cat, you may be blue eyes, you may be dismissed. If you have a pet cat, you may be dismissed.
Never did that before.
I don't got much left. I'm thugging all by myself. I know what's right with
Wait! Holy! That's me! That's.
I don't got much left. I'm thugging all by myself. I know what's
Chat, when you're writing the essay and the ideas are flowing, dude, and it's just not stopping.
right, what's wrong. I guess I don't got much else.
That's me. What do you say now? You? What do you mean? Guys, I had good grades. I was top of my class. I got an award.
I'm gonna hit you with the giant hits you with the stem. What? Swear to God, nigga, you ain't even really rich, boy.
Huh?
By the way, you know I'm the one we should be least worried about when it comes to infected.
Hey, no. You swore. We don't talk about that.
I got bit on my arm.
Ellie, we don't talk about that.
I got bit, everybody!
Hey.
I got bit!
Hey!
I'm immune!
Whoa, hey!
Woo! By the way, you know I'm the one we should be least worried about when it comes to infected.
Hey, no.
Anyway.
Baya! Hey, Baya!
What?
Let me play now!
I'm not letting you play, bro. It's my turn. Get out of here.
Mom!
Okay, fine.
Then let me play!
Oh my god.
You've literally been playing all day.
Alright, here. Take this.
Ooh, what's that?
Second controller.
Oh, really? Wait, where am I?
Yeah, look at you. You're that bird over there, and you're scared.
Really?
You see that? That's you.
But I thought this was Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's fine. You just got the.
Yeah, that's not
You
nice.
gave me the mods?
My brother would never do that.
What? Oh, I'm a hacker now.
Massive handle on your forehead, Luca Tim.
Sports, please, for 100. The first clue of the game is this. The all-time leading rebounder in pro basketball history.
Still.
Gloria?
Who is Babe Ruth?
No, I'm sorry, that is wrong. Richard or Leonard?
Babe Ruth?
Richard.
She's not
Who
very
is
good at
Wilt
sports,
Chamberlain?
man.
You are correct. You get to pick again.
Think I'll change subjects to superstitions for 100.
Make a wish and break this, the V-shaped clavicles of a fowl. Gloria.
What is a wishbone?
Right, now it's your turn to select.
Okay, I'll take natural disasters for 100, please.
I don't
This
understand it.
volcano's eruption buried the city of Pompeii in 79 AD.
Oh, what is it? Mount
Vesuvius?
No, it's a Mount Ellens.
Our judges
Mount.
The foods that start with the letter Q, please.
A game bird related to a partridge. Gloria.
What is a quail?
Correct. You get to pick again.
Foods that start with the letter Q for 200, please.
Answer? A custom.
What? I don't get it. I don't get it.
We forgot the word.
Chat, these are so bad. What am I watching? I don't get it. This is fake and it's stupid and it's brain dead. Okay, I'm not getting mad. Chat, surely the next attack will be really funny.
When is you McLaren W1 set to come? Do you have a date? Do this pot friend...
months on months.
Oh yeah, double wrap that thing. Yeah.
Cool, man. That is funny.
What happens when you put full, unopened bags of marshmallows in a vacuum chamber? First up, mini marshmallows. As the pressure drops, the air inside the marshmallows in the bag expands enough that the bag bursts open. And when I bring the pressure back, they're crushed. They kind of look like marshmallow popcorn. It's the same story with the regular sized marshmallows. The bag swells and bursts, and then letting the pressure back up crushes them. Now for the ultimate test, the giant marshmallows. This bag barely fits in the chamber. Uh-oh, the bag is clogging up the vacuum hose. Time for plan B. You know what? Forget the bag. Let's just dump them in. Oh, the marshmallows are expanding and filling the entire chamber.
Well, that's cool though.
It kind of looks like a medieval marshmallow fortress. Now let's bring the pressure back. Hey, these held up pretty good. What should I test in the vacuum chamber next?
Damn, chat, that looked pretty cool. Look at his shoulder. What about his shoulder? What about his shoulder? Oh, you broke your shoulder doing that? Oh! Huh? Oh, it's a safety feature. When it drops it does that. Chat, this looks like a thing in my bob or whatever.
This, I'm sure, was in Martin's column sometime. You know, it's impossible to
Like a
tie a knot
doohickey.
without leaving go of the ends of the string the way I just did. This, I'm sure, was in Martin's...
How does this machine refill beers from the bottom of the cup?
There's a little hole at the bottom and the thing goes up and it,
The bartender chooses
This is a crazy magic tool called the Magic Sword. The sword moves so fast that you can't see it with just your eyes. To prove it, if I place a toothpick here, it looks like the sword passes through, but in reality, it moves very fast in the opposite direction. Now if I place my thumb here, you can see that it gets stuck. This is a crazy magic tool.
Okay.
This is what happens inside the engine every time you start your car. Turning the key sends electricity from the battery to the starter solenoid. The solenoid pushes a small gear onto the engine's flywheel and spins it. This
Oh my
cranks
God.
the engine, allowing it to
Jeez.
start.
Chad, is it that scuffed in there, Chad? That looks
Running on its
awful.
own. This is what happens inside the engine every time you start your car. Turning the key sends electricity
There's
from
no
the
shot
battery
it's
to
that
the
bad,
starter
bro.
solenoid. The solenoid
That
pushes
looks
the small
clu-
gear onto the engine
That looks clunky as fudge.
flywheel and spins it. This cranks the engine, allowing it to start running on its own. This is
So what happens, Chad, if what happens when you're on a manual car and you do the what happens with the gears? Are the gears braking?
A couple of years ago, Ferrari brought out a car called the 599XX. A picture of it here, okay? Now, it cost you
It's called a
$1 million
money
quid,
shift.
but you couldn't take it home with you. Ferrari.
Chad, is that called a money shift? Is that what it's called? A money shift? Okay. Yeah, but that's just what it does, though. Chat, what does that do?
33
So it breaks the
months of
engine?
no welcome to the jungle. XQCLU.
Yeah, from third to first, it's has like a high RPM or whatever, no?
This pilot accidentally flew very close over US President Trump's house, which caused fighter jets to intercept. Just watch.
If you haven't seen it yet, you're being intercepted. If you're on this frequency, ident.
Confused, the pilot tries contacting ATC, but instead gets an answer from the fighter jet.
I've got a jet flying close to me. Is something wrong? You are inside of a TFR. I'm going to have a number for you here in a second. For now, what's your destination?
Yes, sir. I'm flying to Ocean City Municipal. I did not see
Chad, is that real or fake?
on my radar. I am extremely sorry, and we're going to head direct back immediately.
Understood. For now, just proceed directly towards Ocean City Municipal.
Yes, sir.
And then he gets to hear every pilot's worst nightmare.
Do you have that possible pilot deviation phone number for you? Confirm ready to copy?
Yes, sir. Ready to copy.
Call us on 609.
609.
Readback is correct, and we'll have a frequency change over to Ocean City once you get a little bit closer.
Roger that.
This pilot accidentally flew.
What I have here is 100 grams of pure gold. At around
make grills.
$57 US per gram, it's worth about $5,700, and it's one of the most expensive and precious things that I own.
$6,000?
But anyway, I think I'm just going to destroy it using acid. All I have to do is pour in a bunch of concentrated hydrochloric acid, and I'll bring this to a boil.
Hi.
Right now, not much is happening, and I have to add some nitric acid. Immediately, the gold starts getting torn apart. I then kept occasionally adding acid, and over the
But
next
it's gonna
few
stay
hours,
gold, no?
it slowly disintegrated. Then eventually, it completely disappeared.
Huh? How do you get the gold back in?
What I was left with was a nice red
Hype train
liquid,
Pac-Man.
which turned orange after it cooled down. There was also no trace of the gold bar, and it's almost like it never existed. I should say, though, that the gold hasn't actually vanished, and it's just in a water-soluble form called chloroauric acid. It's actually very easy to get the gold back, and I'll show you how to
boil
do
it
that
then.
in enough... And I'll show you
You
how
boil
to
it
do that
then.
in enough...
Oh no.
What I have here...
What? No, nah, it's gotta be faking. Chat, how do you get it though?
Yes, yes, yes. Go, 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 go. Let's go. No, stay.
You lied.
Yo.
Cool.
Go, 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 go.
Nice. Stay concentrated. You good?
That's easy.
Really good. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Oh, I could do this. This is just one leg length.
Reed, go, 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 go.
Keep going. Keep breathing. Really good. Halfway. Same again. You can do it. Keep going. Keep it going. Keep breathing. Come on.
My bad, I forgot to breathe.
You just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
16 years ago.
What? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what
On
reason?
my
What
limp
is the
penis?
charge? Eating a meal? A
succulent Chinese meal?
Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir.
I see,
Oh.
you know.
Ah, yes. I see that you know your
judo well.
Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look. Dave and Brett.
Holy classic, eh? That is actually classic, eh?
This is the quietest room, and this is the loudest. The walls, floors, and ceilings are designed to almost instantly absorb all the sound emitted, so there's no reflection of sound at all. Then this room is called a reverberation chamber. It's
Big
basically
5
the
years
opposite of
upcoming
the
soon is
anechoic
crazy.
chamber. It reflects
Thanks
almost
for
all
the
the sound
laughs,
that
big
hits
dog.
it. Okay, first we're just gonna try popping a balloon. This is scary. Okay, now here's a balloon pop in the anechoic chamber. It's just like a boop.
That's
Just like
cool,
a little
actually.
tiny pressure wave gone. I went and bought the world's loudest whistle. This can get as loud as 142 decibels, which sounds louder than a gunshot.
It ends.
It just ends as soon as
Immediately.
it's done.
This is done.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's it.
wow.
There's nothing after. This is the quietest room.
This is the reason why riders often act strangely before a race. Many people assume they are using doping because of their suspicious behavior. However, this is actually an important ritual that racers perform to memorize the track conditions. They usually visualize the circuit while listening to recorded engine sounds, helping them stay focused and improve their performance during the race. This is the reason why
Wait, that's actually kind of cool.
riders often act strangely before a race. Many people assume they are using doping because of their suspicious behavior. However, this is actually an important ritual that racers perform to memorize the
Chat, it makes sense with the engine noises, chat, if you sync it with the track.
conditions. They usually visualize the circuit while listening to recorded engine sounds, helping them stay focused and improve their performance during the race. This is the
Is this funny or what?
Yep, that's limestone.
The hidden ball
The
trick.
hidden ball trick. He lifts up his foot, shuffles his feet, and lost contact, and Goins had the ball on Frazier.
The hidden ball
The
trick.
hidden ball trick. He lifts up his foot, shuffles his feet, and lost contact, and Goins had the ball on Frazier.
The hidden ball.
Chat, I don't... Is this funny or what?
Yep, that's limestone.
The hidden ball
The
trick.
hidden ball trick.
It's funny or what? Is this funny or what? Any given. Oh, that's loud as fudge. Chat, that seems really slow, no? It seems slow AF.
I don't know you anymore. You're going down a path I can't follow.
So RP pretty much? RP does that, no? There's no wasted string. Cool.
What are you crazy? Why are you stopping? Hey, you idiot! You eat me! We gotta get out of here!
Chat, real? And they added audio after, right?
Hey, what are you crazy? Why are you stopping? Hey, you idiot! You eat me! We gotta get out of here!
What do you sell one unit for?
They retail at $99, and it cost me $23 to make.
I'll pay you $500,000 for 100% of Rock Block. I'll hire you for 2 years at a 6-figure contract, and then we'll pay you a royalty, something like $5 a unit.
I'm gonna say yes to that right now.
Of course. What do you sell one unit for?
They retail at $99, and it costs.
And then they're gonna monopolize the market, right? Mark that bitch ass up to fucking $300, right? And his $5 is gonna become like fucking, what is that, 1.5% per unit, and then he's
GP
cooked.
section. So let's see what the winner of round one can do here then. In Valparaiso, he has raced on this track in the past, but Slavic will have to make the time where he
The product's too niche also, it's shit. I'm gonna watch.
Hey X, I got inspired and decided to also kiss my sister XQCL.
I got a. Can you draw this without ever lifting your pen off the paper? Probably.
Yeah, you just fold it.
Probably not, but I'm going to show you how. I love this trick. When I was a kid, I showed this to everyone, and they thought that I was not weird. Here's how you do it. Grab a sheet of paper and a marker.
So when I was young, I was doing that. I used to fold it.
Dot. Now maintain contact with the paper and stop thinking in 2 dimensions. Grab the corner of the page and fold it
I didn't pre-watch, I used to do that when I was
into
young.
the dot. Now while maintaining contact with the paper, move on to the back of the page, come on up here, come back onto the front of the page, fold the paper flat, and complete the ring. Can you
Chat, that's every YouTuber ever. Holy shit. Chat, with the sigh at the end, that is so accurate.
They decide to go after a man they found on social media. The target has a public profile and posts about his personal life multiple times a day, which makes him the perfect identity theft and SIM swap victim. The 3 fraudsters then run an in-depth background check on him and even find his personal address on the dark web. Next, one of them purchases a fake driver's
What about me? I've already been SIM swapped once, and I made the proper precautions these days, okay? Forget about it.
license from a dark web market and fills it out with the target's information, but with a picture of Punslayer, who is a 22-year-old man named Carter Roan. Once Roan has everything he needs, he hops on the next plane to New Mexico. There, he visits the victim's internet and phone provider's shop, claiming that his SIM stopped working. He shows his fake ID and asks for the number to be transferred to another SIM he's got in his phone. Without any further questions, the employee transfers the target's phone number to Roan's SIM in a few minutes. The SIM swap had been incredibly easy and would mark the start of a truly generational SIM swapping operation. However, this wasn't an isolated case. Hackers can easily find personal information, account details, and more info through so-called... Use the safe route and use the code THINKER at nordpass.com/thinker to get a free 3-month trial of NordPass Business. No credit card required. And let's get back to the video.
I skip another whole thing because I still want to get some credit.
Mid-2022. After making a good amount of money by SIM swapping normal people, Powell starts looking into big crypto influencers and larger companies. Eventually, he decides that if he wants to be truly wealthy, he doesn't have to go after rich crypto traders using exchanges. but after the crypto exchange itself. Instead of a few $100,000, one perfectly executed heist could net him tens or even hundreds of millions in crypto. However, what he doesn't know is that the opportunity for his dream heist is just around the corner. November 1st, 2022. This is Ian Allison, a journalist for the crypto news outlet CoinDesk, and he's about to expose one of the most significant scandals in cryptocurrency history, one that ties Alameda Research and the crypto exchange FTX to a web of financial misconduct. He's been researching the FTT token, a cryptocurrency made by FTX, and discovered a strange connection between FTX and Alameda Research, a crypto trading firm, which were both controlled by the owner of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried. It turned out that a large portion of
it is a sad revelation. I mean, fuck whatever. Fuck my quote. It's just bullshit. The fact that this guy is like his girlfriend, or whatever, gets off the hook with like very little, right? When you know for a fact that she was as involved as him all the way through, like that's just stupid. That it's how it has to work. Yeah, because she testified and she gave him all the details, whatever, right? That she gets to be like to cut a deal because they want to make sure that the main culprit gets caught. That there's like cost to justice. That's fucking bullshit. I hate that shit. She's a rat, and she looks like a rat.
Alameda's $14.6 billion in assets was made up of FTT tokens. This meant that Alameda's financial stability relied heavily on an illiquid, self-issued asset rather than cash, stablecoins, or other liquid holdings. Furthermore, he noticed that $5.8 billion of Alameda's assets were in FTT. This meant that Alameda was most likely artificially inflating the price of FTT, which in turn meant that FTX's balance was also highly based on an inflated token and might not have as many cash reserves as they claimed. Allison would go on to publish this article on the 2nd of November.
The quant trading firm founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, Alameda, was using customer funds from Bankman-Fried's crypto exchange, FTX, in a way.
Okay, maybe my understanding of this is bad. You guys might think it's Giga Chad to do this and blow the whistle, but at the same time, being over leveraged is like every company's doing this shit. All the exchanges and everybody's over leveraged out the wazoo, right? And technically, it's like, wait, how's the question mark? I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. Everybody's over leveraged out the wazoo, I'm pretty sure. And basically, it's not really a problem until it becomes a problem. But whenever you blow the whistle and you make everybody do a bank run, then the problem becomes real. Because now, that over leverage thing is being materialized. That's the problem. Tell me that this is not the problem. That is a problem.
That flew under the radar of investors.
So the Giga Chad is actually the dumb fuck.
Employees and auditors.
The FTX token is fallen by double digits.
It doesn't seem that way.
Crypto exchange Binance announced a deal to buy rival FTX.com.
Their attorney quit within the first 2 hours of us setting up the data room. So it was complete pandemonium over there.
He lied to his users, his investors, his VC investors. Whatever data that's in the data room, we couldn't trust anymore.
I don't defend the rich. I'm just saying these are over leveraged. If everybody at Coinbase or whatever the fuck, or what another one, if everybody said, guys, I want the money that I gave you guys now. I gave you guys 1 million in Bitcoin. Everybody has 1 million, let's say. Everybody says we all want our million back. What do you think happens? It's fucking GG. It goes belly up, it explodes. It's a collapse of every system that you know. It's the end of the world. Like literally. But they know nobody does that because they take the funds that people are putting into the exchange and they're investing in places or whatever, right? And a lot of people are fucking over leveraged. That's just kind of how it works. I don't think it should be like that, but it's like that. Yeah, people are sometimes way past the margins. These guys were way past the margins, but regardless. So blowing the whistle cucks the whole thing.
Bankman-Fried and his co-conspirators.
All the banks are like that.
Billions of dollars.
Yeah, not the same. Banks invest your assets, while FTX issued themselves SU securities. They value themselves, like having a buddy be like, yeah, true. But the extent of that problem is still the same, though. The extent of the problem, how the problem manifests itself is the same if everybody asks for the money. Technically.
The problem wasn't being over-leveraged. The problem was most of his supposed cash reserves were in his own token he created while he was backdooring all the real money.
Yeah, true. But there is still enough money for daily operations. There's still enough money, and that's how everybody is at. Their position is that they have enough money for in and out for their daily operations, plus certain margins. I don't remember how much it is. It's not like they were collapsing or gonna collapse, unless everybody pulls their shit out.
From FTX customers.
What a federal prosecutor calls one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
Advisors overseeing what's left of former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's empire are struggling to.
Since I was a kid, I am Steve. If I was you, I'd flint and steel. The nether and the pearl. Chicken jockey. The nether and the pearl. Chicken jockey.
Chat, holy chat.
I am Steve. If I was you, I'd flint and steel. The nether and the pearl. Chicken jockey.
Chat, that's aura, isn't that? Chat, isn't that aura? Holy. Okay, chat, it's gonna scare me because I woke up and I swear to I had that in my head. And I was like, chicken jockey. Is that funny, right? Yeah. You seen that before? Yeah. This one? Really? This one? Ever since I was a kid. Chicken. That one? I am Steve.
I am Steve. If I was you, I'd flint and steel. The nether and the pearl. Chicken jockey. The nether and the pearl. Chicken jockey.
Bro, how are you not deaf? Holy shit.
Is that loud?
It's so loud. Do you need your laundry? Do you need your laundry done? Hello?
McDonald's?
You want me to do your laundry?
Yeah, please. Dude, racist. TikTok said I'm too foreign to watch that video. Oh yeah. Well, Jack, come here.
Okay, hold on.
What about this one?
No, I haven't seen it.
You get it?
Empty-handed, so you drink milk?
It's a sperm bank.
Oh.
Funny, right?
Guess the mob in 60 seconds. Hint number 1. This mob is passive, which means it is always friendly and will never hurt the player, even if it's attacked. Hint number 2. This mob is immune to fall damage. Most mobs take damage when they fall more than a few blocks, but this mob will never take fall damage no matter how far it falls. Hint number 3. This mob can be found in the overworld and nether. Different mobs mobs spawn in different dimensions, and this mob can spawn everywhere except for in the end. Hint number 4. This mob can breed with 6 different items. Most mobs can only be bred with one item, like how you can only use wheat for cows, and some mobs can be bred with a few items, like how you can use carrots, potatoes, and beetroots for pigs. But this mob can be bred with 6 different items. Hint number 5. This mob is attacked by foxes. Some mobs will attack other mobs,
it's
like
the
how
chicken
llamas attack
jockey.
wolves, frogs attack slime, and foxes attack this mob. Final hint. This mob can be ridden by another mob. Some mobs, like the spider, can be ridden by other mobs. And just like the spider,
Chat.
this mob cannot be ridden by the player. The mob was 3, 2,
Chat.
1, the chicken.
Chat, but guys, what happens when somebody rides on the chicken though, chat? Doesn't that make it,
Still giving money to
Chat, I'm drawing a blank, chat.
XQCL.
Chat, I'm drawing a blank. Is it the, chat, it's the chicken jockey.
Can you welcome me to the Meth Lab Juicer?
But chat, I don't get it. Chat, at this point, why didn't they just drive the car here? Overseas, brother, nobody shipped that shit overseas, nobody. And even though when it lands, they can still drive it. Ah, this session's ready today, I get it. That's a bum.
Of a Minecraft movie. Please, no throwing popcorn, and also no lapis lazuli, and also absolutely no chicken jockeys. I am Steve.
45 months XQCLL.
Look what I got. My actual pickaxe. Are you ready to rock? Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy a Minecraft movie!
Alright, I mean, that's kind of cool though. I respect it. Chat, guys, you guys laugh because maybe you're getting old, maybe like me, okay? But look at the smile on this guy's face. He's getting his kid to see a movie, and he hits the max win bonding memento. He brought his kid to the movies, okay? And he went by Minecraft Steve.
The Earth can just explode.
He'll remember this for the rest of his life, though. People won't even believe it. Like, when I was young, I was with my dad and went to see the movie, and I saw Steve. If only he hadn't said that thing about Trump. Ugh. Dude, chat, I would still like him, chat. I would still like him. This fucking bitch. Fuck, man. What a scumlord.
33 months.
Now, as a grown 46-year-old conservative, I can't like this children's Minecraft movie, dude. Fuck, man.
Flint and steel, chicken jockey,
What the fuck is sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is when your dumbass throat collapses like a folding chair the second you fall asleep. While you're awake, your throat muscles hold the piece of shit airway open. But when you fall asleep, the throat muscles pass out too, letting that shit close up tighter than your ex's fucking heart. Air barely squeezes through, making your soft palate vibrate like a dying lawnmower. That's snoring. But for some unlucky fucks, it closes completely, cutting off your damn air like it's trying to kill you in your sleep. Your brain goes, what the fuck? Panics and wakes you up just long enough to stop dying. Then you do it all over again. Every damn night. That's obstructive sleep apnea. Fixes include slicing or blasting the floppy throat bits or opening your airway so you can finally get some goddamn rest. Follow Dr. Pickle for more about your broken ass body.
Chat, I don't have that. You guys, I did a sleep study and said that my airways are perfect. And chat, what else?
Doom shot, motherfucker. Doom shot, motherfucker.
Chat, isn't that just how you kill somebody? I'm confused, chat. Is that's just dangerous? Chat, is that jousting?
I'm trying to pop out the cut. I'm trying to creep through the bush. Niggas smoke out just like some kush. Cut with that boy, that nigga get smushed. Like smoke, I ask my young niggas push. Yeah, I'm telling young niggas rush. Hey, rush. Oh, you bossed up, but young nigga get punched. That's your bitch, like she getting crunched. For dinner, she eat it for lunch.
Yeah, I had it sometimes, chat. Chat, do you ever think sometimes everything is only the way it is because you can see it? So therefore, if everything is only there because you're there, it's not that you're here because everything is there. It's kind of the opposite. It's all there because you're there. Because without you thinking and computing, nothing is, really. Nothing is.
1, 2, 3, take up space!
Tamir's in space. It's okay. Leave Flynn up there. Flynn, bye.
Flynn, I gotcha. I gotcha, Flynn.
Gotcha. Proud of you, Flynn.
Hey, is that?
Oh, the moon! You guys, I will have to tell you, look at the moon.
That's amazing. Wow, look at the blue line.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Chat, was that Bezos' wife?
That's our pink moon. Okay. Now it's time to look out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Chat, why does it sound like that? Like, anything's banging around like bong, bang, bong.
Look at the moon.
That's amazing. Wow, look at the blue line.
Good evening, Mr. Cow. Can I please get a welcome to the jungle for good luck on my exam tomorrow?
That's cool though. Chat, who are these guys who are these people in the space?
¿Qué onda? ¿Qué pedo, güey? ¿Qué andas haciendo?
My tax dollars are where my tax dollars are where my tax dollars are where my tax.
I don't think they use tax dollars for that. Yeah, I don't think they use tax dollars for that. What?
A la Vega.
Interesting. Cool. So what does that do, chat, for you? I mean, that's just CT, literally, yeah. What?
What?
Okay, I think we've had enough today, chat. Alright, chat, what else we got? Chat, what's CS? Cuz?
Quickly hide from Diddy.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party.
2.
I love me some oiled up buns. I love me some.
I had meetings with other teams, so it was really great.
Like a boss.
Before I start anything about my project, I needed to plan it. So I had iOS experience before, but it was with Objective-C. So I learned
Like a boss.
What's up? Relax, man. It's casual.
Tumblr police.
Shuki, come on up.
Chat, what is this?
Doesn't come up. Seems like the whole company's coming up.
It's like a participation trophy.
Shuki, tell us about your experience this summer.
Oh, hello everyone.
Shuka now.
Hey, I have an idea. Why don't you zip it until he's finished, okay? Thanks.
Chat, what is this? Chat, explain. Chat, what the fuck was all of that?
The cannonball hit his leg, tearing apart the skin and bone below his knee. Surgeons had to cut off what remained, and his soldiers carried him to safety. But instead of throwing the damaged leg away, he ordered it to be buried with full military honors. Soldiers placed it in a coffin and held a funeral, treating it like a fallen hero. Years later, the man rose to power, and rioters tore his decomposed leg from the ground and dragged it through the streets.
Okay, what?
What I have here is just a regular ball bearing, and when I drop it onto some metal, it kind of doesn't do anything. However, when I drop it onto this thing that I made, which is called an atomic trampoline, it just keeps on bouncing, almost like it's never gonna stop, and I think this is pretty cool. What I've been really wanting to do, though, is to take 2 of the trampolines that I made, and to see if anything weird would happen if I tried bouncing the ball between them.
Whoa!
It's honestly even better than I expected. I mean, I assumed that it would bounce a lot, but not nearly this much, and the super high-pitched sound that it makes tells me that it's bouncing a ridiculous number of times. In fact, at its peak, at least based on what I could count, I could sometimes get it to bounce up to several thousand times per second.
Wait, what?
Several thousand times per second, which in my opinion is kind of unbelievable. What
Thousands?
Is just a regular.
I want the timing to be good, but I can't get the timing to be like that good. Okay. Wait, that was kind of good. I want the timing to be good, but I can't get the timing to be like.
Interesting.
I guess you don't need sandpaper if you have hands like this.
Who needs sandpaper?
Oh,
I guess you don't need sandpaper.
Oh, wow. Whoa, wait a minute now. Chat, let him cook, chat. Hold on. That is nice. Chat, is that an impact?
Would a 150-pound slam ball stop a bullet? I'm gonna shoot this slam ball with higher and higher caliber bullets all the way up to a 50 cal and see what it can stop. Starting out with a 9mm.
Chat, is that just an iron ball?
Our 9mm entered right here in the front. Did not come out the back. Fred, still safe.
What is, Chad, what is that thing?
Next up, 44 Magnum.
so bad at this thing. Sorry guys, I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry, can we try again? Yeah, sure. How? Thank you. coming, you go. Come on. You want to go there? Okay. Careful, 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 careful. After you move left of the can't use your arrows. So why do you do that?